Bum, 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 bum. It's news at 10 past 10 on Tacky TV. Hello and welcome to News at 10. Oh, I've left my phone downstairs. Damn. Welcome to News at 10 past 10 on a Thursday, the 31st of July 2025. Hello, Alan. Hi, T. I've left my phone in a different room, so I haven't got my phone with me, unfortunately. Anyway, hope we find you well. Hello, Craig. Hope you're well as well. We'll let a few people settle in before we actually progress with the news. Lots and lots of news to get through this week, as you would imagine. Hello, Angela. Yeah, I'm adequate, thank you. Hope you're well too. So I've left my phone downstairs. Yeah. So do apologise. No, it's not downstairs, it's in the next room. Hang on a minute. Bum 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 bum. I'll be right back after this short commercial break. News at 10 past 10. Ugh. Right. Do you know how long it took me to get that thing there that just actually says 10 past 10? Never. So we've got Angela, Craig, Alan, T, all around. Don't forget you can join in the chat. You can agree with me, disagree with me, it's up to you. Or you can just listen or watch, whatever it is you do. And all being well, we will cover some topics that you're interested in. There's quite a lot that's gone on this week. Alright, yeah, I would say I didn't see him come on then. Stephen Kelly and is a dog who's a fan. I have a dog that's a fan, it's great. It's more of a fan than my cat, anyway, but anyway, she's downstairs sulking. So, what the cat's doing it. It's sad that I've started scheduling my appointments around elder streams. Oh dear. Oh dear. I do apologise in advance. So, let's crack on, shall we? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the week's news. So the stuff that's gone on this week regarding various different items. The main one is, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's the humiliation of our Prime Minister by someone who shouldn't be able to humiliate anyone, really, if you think about it. But anyway, he does. And it's... I've got your leg now. It's all gonna crack on. Literally. Now. Guess what? It's the top news this week. And that was this guy, Donald Trump, has come over to Scotland on a personal visit to, visit Scotland and open up a golf course. Because he's got a golf course, he's got a brand new golf course which he opened up as well. But he also had the misfortune of having to meet Sir Keir Starmer, poor man. I mean, his life isn't bad enough. But he's got a bit of a soft spot for Keir's wife. Hasn't everyone? Well, Keir's probably got a very soft spot for Keir's wife. Of the rumours are to go by, although I'm not saying what they are, because obviously I like my freedom. So, this was ultra embarrassing and also fantastic and not shown on the BBC News at 10. Anyway, Saturday the 26th, Trump is in Scotland and brings out many protests. He plays a round of golf, adding that immigration is killing Europe, which it is. It's killing lots of things as well. That was Saturday the 26th. There were some protesters who were actually going against Starmer. President Trump, don't trust Starmer. And another one said Starmer is a self-pleasurer. I mean, we're all self-pleasurers, I suppose, but I mean, Starmer is a nasty version of that. Monday the 28th, Donald Trump and Sir Keir Starmer meet in Scotland. The BBC say they enjoyed dinner together. They talked trade and tariffs. And the Mayor of London popped up. This is what the BBC said. And they said that they got on. No mention of the awkwardness and Trump ignoring Starmer. Now, basically, you need to watch it. If you've not seen it already, and you must have done, you must watch the full press conference of Keir Starmer and Donald Trump. Okay, it goes on for an hour, but there are some gems in there. If you watch DB News, you'll have seen the best bits, to be fair, including the bit where Donald Trump says that Sadiq Khan is a really bad man, can't do his job, and it's basically slagging him off left, right and centre. And Keir comes up and he goes, he's actually he's actually my friend. Trump totally ignores him and carries on slagging him off. It's genius. He then talks about the taxes being ridiculously high in this country. He then talks about not stopping the boats and that immigration needs to be stopped. He's done it. It was amazing TV, and the BBC didn't show it now. You could say on News at 10. I mean, they showed some. Oh, what's that guy called? I really can't stand who they have doing all the soppy stories on BBC. He's got such a patronising voice. Fairly young. He's probably in his late 30s, early 40s, and he just patronises everything he talks. He does, usually sexual abuse that's happened to various different people, and he's always there doing his soft voice. I just want to punch the guy in the face, and I'm not a violent man. I don't think I've ever seen a leader look so weak. He'll look weaker, trust me, at some point. Keir Starmer. Absolute nonsense. That was close. Yeah, utter nonsense that went on with Keir Starmer and Donald Trump. And the BBC were happy to show Donald Trump laying into, the South African Prime Minister in the White House. Zelensky in the White House. They're happy to show that, but they weren't happy to show our glorious leader being ripped apart by Donald Trump. He was still smiling all the way through it. I don't know. I don't watch the BBC, so I don't know what you mean. I don't watch TV at all. Right, okay. Oh, he's got a really annoying patronising voice. Anyway, they did about a 10-minute section of him wittering on about something or other. I kind of switch off whenever he's on. It's always some sad story. I'm not saying it's not relevant, but it's certainly not relevant compared to what was going on in Scotland. And my argument has always been that the BBC have got a half-hour News at 10 flagship show in order to bite-size the news that is important for that day, not a 10 or 20-minute monologue about something that's not as relevant. You can do that on your News 24. You could even have something on your BBC 3 or BBC 4. You could do it on there. I don't see the reason why they need a half-hour show. They need to spend so long on something that's not as relevant as Keir Starmer being humiliated. And I mean humiliated. Yeah, he looked very sheepish. There was an expert who studies hand movements, things like that, and Keir Starmer's doing a lot of this and doing a lot of that when he's feeling his collar, not his collar, his cuff of his suit and everything. It's just awkward, and it was brilliant. I mean, I don't like Trump, don't get me wrong, but no, it was brilliant. Oh, hi DT, welcome to the chat. You can join in as much as you want. You can disagree with me as well. If you think that Keir Starmer is a great Prime Minister and the best leader we've ever had, then that is your opinion and you are allowed to have it. We will not judge you for it. If he says that, he's an absolute tosser. Tuesday the 29th, Starmer says Britain will recognise a Palestinian state if Israel... if Israel in September not agreed to a ceasefire. Doesn't mention the hostages. Famine is growing, which we know. Benjamin Netanyahu, the war criminal, says it's a reward for Hamas. Hamas have since said basically the same thing. We've won. But I don't understand why we've let Israel carry on doing what they're doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not supporting Hamas in any way, shape or form. I'm supporting the children, the innocent people who have been slaughtered and moved around and injured horrifically and shot at when they're after food, which has been stopped by Israel, by Israeli troops being shot at. The whole thing is just horrendous. I'm not sure that recognising Palestine is actually going to make any difference. Meanwhile, Trump opens his new golf course. And now he's flying back to the USA. Well, now then. There he is, opening his new golf course. He does a little speech. It's great. It's not great. It's not great. Why is it? The whole world's involved, to be fair. Let's be honest. That's because the world likes to get involved in everything, Angela. Wednesday the 30th, Trump is to send a week off to Israel and Gaza. 7 more starved to death, according to Hamas. And I think that Wilkoff, who's like an envoy, is actually in Israel now, so we'll have to wait and see what occurs. But yeah. Thank you. I know I definitely am with you with Starmer. Never has a weasel summed somebody up more. Did he just call me a weasel? I'll take that. I'm not bothered. Anyway, yeah, that was the week. Called a weasel. That was the bad news of the week. The other news of the week, because there's other news as well. Friday the 25th, a third singer in a week passes away. This time it's Cleo Lane, who died at the age of 97. It was more like Scatman John, that, wasn't it? I'm a Scatman, he died not long after becoming famous, but he was like 70 when he got his number 3 hit or whatever. Doesn't the mood swings change really quickly in this thing? Anyway. Oh, Dream is back as well. Hello, Dream. Hope you're well. Also on Friday the 25th, US former soldier says he witnessed war crimes in Gaza by the IDF, including firing into unarmed civilians with US troops. He was with US troops. It wasn't the US troops firing into the civilians, just to clarify. I mean, the US troops have done things in the past which are basically war crimes, but not on this occasion. It was the IDF. Yet we still... people are still trying to support Israel for what they're doing, and I don't agree with it at all. Trump arrives in Scotland. Oh, there we go, on a working trip. He said, actually, this is on Friday, I like your PM, he's a good man. We got a trade agreement. Yeah, a trade deal, that was it, sorry, trade deal done. And the junior doctors begin their 5-day strike. Because remember, this government is so weak, as soon as they got in last year, they immediately give the doctors a 20% pay rise. And then they were shocked when the doctors demanded a 20% pay rise this year as well. Who saw that coming? Apart from anyone who could see this government is... Basically, there's more backbone in a jellyfish than what there is in this lot. Saturday the 26th, Israel say that they have started airdrops or started allowing airdrops into Gaza and create corridors for UN aid. Are they telling the truth? Only time will tell. Sunday the 27th, Israel claimed to have opened more border crossings and allow airdrops again. And it does seem like there is something going in there, but nowhere near enough. The US and EU agree a trade deal. It's the biggest deal ever made, with only 15% tariffs on everything going from Europe to America. And a train derails in Germany with at least 3 people dead. I see Ray French. I wonder where that come from. Stephen O'Neill, hi. Ray French Rugby League commentator died last Saturday. Yeah, I don't do rugby or commentary, but it's always sad. So, Monday the 28th, more air drops get into Gaza. At least 100 or so trucks, but they need 100 or so trucks every single day and more. But there's 2 million people. What is 100 trucks going to do for 2 million people? New rules come into force regarding safety on the internet. Basically censorship. New police unit set up to monitor anti-asylum posts, etc. Now, everyone agrees, no one can disagree, that young children should not be able to access pornography or self-harm or suicide streams or videos or TikToks, things like that. Yeah, 100% agree with that. So they're coming up with these ideas that you have to now have ID and everything, but obviously the kids know how to get around that. They've been using, weirdly, photographs from Death Stranding, the computer game, because the guy in that looks real and he's obviously older. I don't use these kind of websites that youngsters are not allowed to go on. Never have. It's never been my thing, watching other people enjoy themselves. Just seems, well, that's depressing, isn't it? I'm on my own. Why would I watch that? But obviously a lot of people do. And it is causing lots of other issues for people who genuinely wish to access, products like that. But the worrying thing is now, there's a rumour, and it's only a rumour, it's been breaking tonight on GB News, that the government basically setting up like AI that will scour everyone's streams, posts on Facebook, Instagram, the videos on TikTok and everything else, and you'll be getting a knock on the door if you've said anything that the government don't really agree to. So basically, Demolition Man. There'll be machines dotted around where if you swear in public, you will have to pay a fine instantly or go to prison for 5 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, we all know, like I said, that kids need to be protected, particularly from self-harm and suicide groups that suggest suicide or even give hints on suicide. Absolutely. But the way the government are doing it, they're using that as, I think, as a cover to censor everyone who disagree with them. So yes, it will be interesting to see how this one pans out. Kids put you need photographs now though. It's not just a case of fake dates of birth. Kids should have their kids don't have computers anymore. Come on, Grandad. Jeez. Hello. This is something that has been in Canada for a while. We only get government improved news. Well, that's not good, is it? VBL, based on how well track and trace worked, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, that's a good point. But that was the Tories. Labour, I think, are a bit more desperate for it, aren't they? I mean, look at that poor woman who's been in prison for God knows how long for a comment that she shared and then deleted. And I think she said something along the lines of, for all I care. Not saying do it, she says they can do something for all I care. And she got 3 years for it, but she's coming out soon because she's been in for long enough now, because obviously everything's... Your parents don't care what the kids get up to. No. I often refuse people Grand Theft Auto 5, even though they want to buy it for small children, because I say, no. It's the content is very, very adult. The language, the actual content of the game, the drugs, the shooting and everything else, and it's not suitable for a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old. If they're a teenager, then it's up to the parent then, but no, I'm always refusing. had to take a selfie to prove my age on Reddit. Was hoping it said I didn't look old enough. Kids don't use pen and paper. No, I can vouch for that because I've got 3 teenagers who work for me, all of whom have pretty much at the end of school, college, uni, well, end of school, college and uni, and none of them can write with a pen properly. Their writing is illegible, which is very, very bad indeed. So if you have to write, maybe that's all the idea you need. It comes up, your website comes up, your OnlyFans or whatever comes up with, write this down and take a picture of it using a pen and paper, and it's just like 15 letters, and then you write them down, and then you take a picture of it, and if you can read it, then it'll let you onto the website. If you can't read it, then you're obviously under the age of 18 because you don't know how to use a pen. So yeah, we've sorted it. Rumours that GCHQ can tap your phone calls and emails, but never proven. Yeah, I imagine they would do. Don't forget, as I've always said, they're trying to get us to go online with everything, including cashless society. They're pushing that left, right and centre in order to be able to control you. And I've said this before, but we've got new people on now, to be fair. If you're on benefits, for example, doesn't matter what benefit it is, you're on benefits and you get paid an amount every 4 weeks, or every 2 weeks, or every week. Mainly 4 weeks nowadays, which I don't agree with either. But anyway, oh, hang on. Oh, expect to knock on my door. Oh no, see, they've caught up with me already. Slagging off the government. Oh dear. I wasn't doing. Anyway, let's carry on slagging off the government. So, hi GCHQ, hope you're well. So, you get your money into your bank account. Now, you can't draw the money out because we've gone cashless. This is, 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. There's no cash anymore, it's cashless. So you go to a high street shop, 20 years time, there probably won't be any left. But say you go in there and you buy yourself a pair of trainers for 100 quid. And then the DWP will be like, why have you spent 100 quid at JD Sports on trainers? That money is for you for rent, food, bills, and small treats, things like that. If you want to buy trainers, get yourself a job. And that's the way it's going. And then think about it a different way as well. If we go cashless, what's to stop, like NatWest Bank, buying Asda, the supermarket, and if you have an account with NatWest, they will not let you use your NatWest Bank card in any other supermarket other than Asda, and then they come whack the prices up. And then Barclays buy Tesco, and NatWest, Royal Bank of Scotland, they buy Sainsbury's, and everyone, I mean, I know it probably will never happen, but there's a possibility it could happen. I mean, people are already being told at the DWP to take in bank statements to see where the money's going. Human Courts of Human Rights. Yeah, but we're getting out of it, aren't we? We get, what's it called, foraging. We're out of the ECHR. Plus, what's to say that the ECHR aren't already doing it in Europe? Who's running? Who's running the world? It's not the governments. We know that. Anyway. Also not on BBC News at 10 on Tuesday the 29th was the murder of 2 people in London, stabbed to death, others injured. Also not on BBC News at 10 was a mass shooting in New York in an office block by a person who was not what you would class as true American, although true Americans are not even classed anymore, but you know what I mean. Not shown. Time to defund the BBC? Oh, definitely. Meanwhile, Senior Labour Cabinet Minister Peter Kyle said on GB News that Nigel Farage is on the side of pedos like Jimmy Savile. Hang on a minute. Now this is because Nigel Farage, I can't remember what he said now, but he said something. It was about this safety regulations for the internet. He said that they're too strong, and people who just want to use the internet for innocent reasons are being gone again. So this senior Labour cabinet minister has basically gone on the news and says, well, he's supporting paedophiles, isn't he? Like Jimmy Savile. Hang on a minute, mate. You need to do your homework, don't you? Because wasn't Jimmy Savile put in front of a certain Keir Starmer when he was head of the CPS? A whole file put there in front of him, and guess what? He wasn't charged with anything. Amazing. So you use the one example of a paedophile, and there are many to choose from, and you choose Jimmy Savile, who your leader and our Prime Minister chose not to prosecute when he was in charge of the CPS. I mean, talk about error of judgment. Plus, just because you don't want people not to be able to access sites which are not child pornography. Obviously, we don't want child pornography or anything like that. But doesn't make you a supporter of pornography for children or children's pornography. It doesn't make sense. And this guy, people have said, is normally very straightforward and very sensible, but not in this case. Absolutely ridiculous what he said. I mean, what Keir Starmer did was nonsense by not prosecuting Jimmy Savile. They'll probably come round at 6 o'clock in the morning. They can't be coming round now. Wednesday the 30th. Technical outage for 20 minutes causes huge delays and cancellations in airports, mainly around the London area, but there's a knock-on effect around the world. One of the brothers involved in the Manchester airport assault is found guilty. The other one is to be retrialled, and he's to be retrialled on the assault of a male police officer, but found guilty on the charge of assaulting 2 female police officers. There's a huge earthquake near Russia, 8.8 magnitude, tsunami warnings pretty much all over the world. And it's easily in the top 10 of all recorded earthquakes on record. So are we ready for the big one in America now? Because you do tend to follow around, don't they? In a recent poll of what people would like to have a referendum on, top subject was restoration of the death penalty. If we could make these easier, we could bring back the capital punishments. Yeah. I'll come back to that in a minute. Greece grows balls, detaining all migrants and refusing them asylum status, and basically sending them back from where they come from. Thousands line the streets of Birmingham for the procession of Ozzy Osbourne. I wrote funeral, but it wasn't his funeral. His funeral was actually today, private ceremony, which was. But yeah, it was good to see, wasn't it? There was more people, as far as I can make out from the aerial shots, at Ozzy Osbourne's parade around Birmingham than what there was at London for the Women's Euro Cup parade. And I think that's right. That's how it should be. Right then. 6th biggest earthquake ever. There you go. Thank you, Stato. Stephen O'Neill we refer to affectionately as Stato. Now, death penalty. It's a tricky one. Because the reason we stopped the death penalty was not because of human rights. Human rights weren't a thing back then. It was because sometimes the wrong people were being put to death who didn't actually commit the crime. Particularly, again, you'll probably come up with a name and everything, but there was a guy with learning difficulties who was basically framed by someone else for a murder he didn't commit. He was hung, and then the true murderer was discovered. I think he was hung as well then. So there are miscarriages. So I don't think the death penalty should come back just per se, but there are people who do deserve to be killed. Now, I go one step further. None of this humane crap. If, like the scumbag who a year ago carried out that murder in Southport, then multiple murders and attempted murders and terrified people, we should not be keeping him alive in prison for the next 50 years or whatever, and paying for that. He should be taken off the planet, but the same way he destroyed them girls' lives. If you drug someone to kill them, then that's how you. As long as it's 100% cast iron, then that's how you go. If you shoot someone, yeah, that's what happens to you. I'm not saying it'll deter anything, it'll never happen, but in an ideal world, if I was the president of the world, that's what would happen. But only if there was categoric proof. So, for example, with the guy in Southport, well, there's no possibility that it's not him who did it. The guy who killed that young lad and was found guilty with a samurai sword. Again, not a shred of doubt that he was the murderer. So yeah, chop him very slowly with a samurai sword. Might be going a bit too far, but no. I think some people, the people who got killed, them little girls, that young 15-year-old boy who got murdered, slaughtered, where were their human rights? Why should we give the absolute C word who did this, or did these acts to these people, why should we give them any human rights whatsoever? No. We treat them the same way they treated the people that they killed. Now, that is Derek Bentley. There we go. Thank you, Stephen Stato. So yeah, it's a tricky one, and it'll never happen. We'll never ever get the death penalty back in the UK. But I think, cop killer, kiddie killer, terrorists, all that kind of thing. I think they are all, as long as it's cast iron, and we've got better technology now. DNA, CCTV everywhere, mobile phone data, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot more difficult to prosecute people wrongly. I mean, there's a lot of people who've now coming out of prison, who've been in prison for years, who were falsely accused and found guilty of heinous crimes, rape, murder, etc., who were innocent. And new technology, DNA, and looking at the cold cases and all that has proved that now. And okay, it's a bit late, but it does prove that things are getting better. Anyway, now I've probably got no viewers left and more hates than likes. Shall we crack on with the rest of the news? Thursday the 31st, which is today. 25,000 migrants have now made it to this country this year. This number was reached last year, but only at the end of September, so we've done it 2 months earlier. Remember, Keir Starmer is smashing the gangs. Smash, 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 smash. He's going to stop the bolts. It's going well. Airlines demand answers for the technical outage because they lost lots of money. I mean, things happen. And nurses, we've got the doctors, junior doctors have just gone back to work now after their 5-day strike. But nurses reject a 3.8% pay offer and are threatening strike action. I did say last year, if you rewind, because they're all up here, if you look at my news stories for the week when the doctors got their pay rise, I did say that they will expect that this year as well, as in next year and the year after, until they believe that they're in the right position. The problem is that they're just, I had no faith in them last year, either of the doctors or the bloody government, and I've certainly got less this year in either of them. So there you go. Vote reform. Sean J, hello. And Kyle as well, if he's around. Hope you're good. And Princess. Another dog. Don't get it. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. It's going mad. So that was the week's news, which was all dreadfully boring. Well, not boring, but very sad and horrible, apart from Keir Starmer getting mauled. Oh, I'd love that. I did love that. Let's have another quick look at Keir Starmer looking a bit sheepish. Donald Trump. Got to remember that Donald Trump, when they were at the G7 summit, accidentally dropped some papers in front of Keir Starmer, so that Keir Starmer actually bent down to pick it up. So basically, Donald Trump has had Keir Starmer knelt at his heels. I suppose the difference now is people are more likely to side with the government than the doctors because they've given them a rise. And so what? Yeah, they're greedy, which is that's what the Tories said. We give them this pay rise, they'll do the same again next year. Back to the 70s for strike. What next? Power cuts. Well, yes, what is going to happen is we are going to have, if we have a really cold winter, apparently we were very close last year to having a winter of outages, because there was a couple of days when it was really cold and lots of energy was being used. And the problem you've got is, he's right, Donald Trump is right about these wind turbines. You know, rip them down, they're in a complete not a waste of time. I mean, the size of them, and the maintenance, they're shipping them around the world, because they're not made in the UK, shipping them around the world, putting them up, and then, like I say, maintenance, all the cables to link them all together. And then it's not windy half the time, or it's too windy. I mean, they're a complete waste of time. Solar farms. Now, I'd have less of a problem with solar farms on car parks, on like schools, or on supermarkets, or things like that, where they're out of the way. The issue I have is when they have solar farms on lands that could be used for growing crops, grazing of livestock, or just for nature. I do have a problem with that, because don't tell anyone this. It's not sunny all the time in the UK. Don't tell anyone I told you. But it's not, is it? So what is the point of having solar panels all over land when, particularly in winter, when we need the energy? It's dark 12, 14 hours of the day. It's complete nonsense. And as for Ed Miliband can't eat a bacon butty, I mean, that guy, I don't even know where to begin with him. I mean, the whole cabinet just need to get gone. In fact, we'll look at that in the amusing stories in a bit. When is Starmer up for renewal? 4 years, yep. Well, we don't know, because obviously there's a lot of kerfuffle now from businesses who are struggling because, God, who knew? Who knew when she had her awesome statement or whatever it was called, that when April come along she completely cut the economy? Who knew? Oh yeah, everyone except her. Yeah, people are losing their jobs, businesses are on the knees, that we're just about getting by, business rates have doubled. Now Keir Starmer, in breaking news, has said that he's going to help small businesses. Well, I'm a small business, I've not had any help from anywhere. Farm on farmland, brilliant idea. Did Jeremy Clarkson invent that? Yes, he did. He did, Sean. Jeremy Clarkson is the genius. My solar panels are paid for themselves over and over. I'm well in profit. They do work in winter and on cloudy days. Just don't make as much electricity. Yeah, but they're not a national problem. That's the problem. They're not a national problem. God, Alan, I'm gonna take away your status of being what's we call it, I think, because you're buying a hybrid car. Moderator. I'm gonna remove your moderation. Yeah, you're buying it, and now you're talking about solar panels like they're a great thing. God, traitor. I bet he's on the phone to Keir Starmer. You need to stop this guy. No one knows where he is yet, but when they do find him, he's going to wreck your government. I call it a bacon roll. I call what a bacon roll? Wigan has voted Labour since December 1918 to private it was a safe Conservative seat. And you have to go back to 1874 for the last Liberal MP to represent Wigan. How many homes could get solar panels for the price of wind? I would imagine quite a lot, but like I say, they're not, when we need the energy, they're not really working. Yeah, okay, Alan is sweet. Let's move on. Hybrids look brilliant under lights because they're under them in garages a lot. Oh, haven't you got a hybrid? Did you have a hybrid? No, you didn't, did you? Sure. No, you didn't. Sorry. Anyway, this is the news that makes me go, oh, memes and interesting stuff. For example, bee venom killed 100% of aggressive breast cancer cells in less than 60 minutes in tests. Now, bee venom is designed to kill insects, so it kind of works. Oh, you can't. You said Ed Miliband can't eat a bacon bar. That was about an hour ago. I think you're a bit behind. Maybe those bloody adverts. Do apologise. I try and cut the adverts down, to be fair, but it doesn't always work. So, yeah, are bees the future for cancer cures? I'm not. I don't think it'd be a case of, you know, you've got an area with cancer. I mean, men it's usually a bit lower down. With women in breast, men it's usually testicular or something similar. I'm not saying that, you know, you dangle your cancer prone bit in a beehive and see what happens. I think it'd be a little bit more scientific than that. But they do always say that there's a natural thing that can solve most problems. So yeah. 18,000 miles, had 6 tyres, 4 brake pads, 4 brake discs, 2 seat belts, a new converter. But it's okay because it's quick. Right. Brilliant. Over 10,000 people have signed a petition to rename Birmingham's airport in the UK to Ozzy Osbourne International. And you know what? We've done it with John Lennon, and I can't see why we can't do it with Ozzy Osbourne as well. Toto Wolff, speaking on the shock sacking of Horner, needs to be careful. He could rock up in the FIA, and then I'm really in the shit. If you don't follow F1, don't worry about it, but that's hilarious because they don't get on at all. This looks like an American or someone Australian, but school meals should be free for everybody. Charging children to eat somewhere they are legally required to be for the entire day is crazy. And when you put it like that, that makes a load of sense. I do like people with a sense of humour, and this is genius. Sadly, this person's grandma passed away, but she she gave everyone a little memento and said we need to keep in touch. Like nettles with arthritis, yeah. And like dot leaves for nettle stings. My car was in a garage for 4 months with hybrid fault, only a year old at the time. Yeah, see? Received this at my grandma's funeral. What an icon. And it's her holding her fingers up, saying, let's keep in touch. And there's a mini Ouija board. I mean, that is class. And this is, again, until you think about it, so someone points this out, it doesn't make sense, does it? But yeah, here you go. You at the airport, you have to go through the provision. I mean, I've never been through one, but you have to go through the provision thing when they judge your junk, no doubt, and have a laugh. They'd have a laugh at mine anyway. And, you know, go through all the strict security and all that kind of thing. Meanwhile, at Dover, unknown random men at Dover are just put on coaches, sent to hotels and allowed to wander around towns. Insane. Chopping wood increases testosterone production by 46.8%, which is as much as 17% higher than soccer and others studied competitive sports. So, chopping wood increases the virility of your wood, apparently. The wife's trying to watch the England women's football, so I've just started hoovering. That'll teach her. Genius. Here we go. London Mayor Sadiq Khan said Donald Trump's remarks today were racist, Islamophobic and anti-Muslim. They were also true. It comes after the American president said earlier that the London Mayor was a nasty person and does a terrible job in the capital city of London. Yep, knife crimes gone up. Phone robberies are on 80,000 a year. There are no-go areas. Yeah, he's doing a great job. If he ever loses his job, though, and going back to diesel next year, the polar bears, absolutely. If Sadiq Khan loses his job, here's the ideal cake. You're dead to us. We hope you fail. No, seriously, these are going leaving cakes that people have bought for people who are leaving jobs. I assume they're done with a sense of humour. This would have been more perfect, wouldn't it? Job failed successfully, with a Windows picture in the background. absolute genius. And then your last day, good, with a miserable looking cat. I think all them cakes would be perfect for Sadiq Khan and Keir Starmer, to get rid of both of them at the same time. Trump's right. I know it's often we say Trump's right. I'm not a big fan. Now, you've got to be a certain age to know what this is. I had one of these, and I got a few of my friends with it, and a few of my friends got me with it. Basically, it's a pretend Wrigley Spearmint chewing gum wrapper of the time, and a fake one. And what you do is you put the spring back, slide it in, and then offer it your mates. They'd pull it out, it'd snap over and break the fingernail or the finger. Oh, it's hilarious. Hours of fun. What I like doing was putting it in real packs, so that they pull it out of a real pack of Wrigley Spearmints. So obviously Wrigley's is spelt wrong there. It's Wrigley Elves. And you pull it out, whack it like that. It's genius. It's like a mouse trap. Yeah, I'd be the person who put it in a real one though. So it'd be a full pack, and I say, "Do you want a chewy?" And give it them, and they'd pull it out, and it would get around and get them. It wasn't the pretend pack, because everyone knew what the pretend pack looked like. And I didn't have many friends at school. I'm not sure what is more frightening: the car accident, Grandma still in the car, or Grandpa's pants, or the ghost in the background, which they've not mentioned. There's a car on its side with a woman sat, well, basically on the passenger or the driver's door window, looking through the window screen, with the old guy stood next to the car, and his pants, his trousers are up to his nipples. I mean, literally, they're up to his nipples. It's hilarious. And then there's a spooky thing going on. Yeah, well, it's because people get offended by them, won't they? Because it's chewing gum, and gum is not good or something, I don't know. When I was young, I was poor, but after years of hard work, I am no longer young. Yep. Them pants are hilarious, aren't they? I mean, them pants make, oh, what's it called? I just didn't make my head then, it's gone. But yeah, make his trousers look normal. Meanwhile, being able to respond to people instantly with sarcasm is a sign of a healthy brain. It does take a lot to be as sarcastic as I am. Although people say I'm just autistic, so I'll take either. Again, a rather bizarre observation, but when you think about it, you're like, I thought Hugh Grant was Britain's best Prime Minister. Yes, Jay Morris, you're right. Welcome, by the way. Long time no see. Hope you're good. I have no interest who built the drain system. I want to know who built the fence. You look at that picture. Bone dry on this side of the wooden fence, up to pretty much the handles of the car doors on the other side. Well, it's lovely to have you. Just in time for a nod to Hawaii. I burnt my Hawaiian pizza last night. I should have cooked it at a lower temperature. A lower temperature Hawaiian. I think I'm way behind in the stream. No, I don't think you are, because you're reacting to what I'm saying. You can move the little thing forward. That's that way, isn't it, for you? No, move it forward a bit. Pastrami's lawn mowing company is now a 5-star business on Google Maps. So this was Albert Park racetrack, the first race of the season in Australia, and Oscar Pastrami had a detour across a very nicely manicured lawn, and when he got back to the garage, his car was covered in bits of grass. So people were joking that he'd basically got the world's most expensive lawnmower. And now it's a 5-star business. So if it all fails for him, he can always just start cutting grass for people in a Formula 1 car, because that'd be hilarious. Now, internet, it can be so slow at times. Not in Japan. Japan's internet speed hits a record high of 1.02 petabytes. Petabits. Me neither. No idea what that is. Per second. However, give you an idea how powerful that is. It's enough to download the entire Netflix catalogue in 1 second. That's how fast the internet is. I dare say it costs a fucking fortune. But there you go. Yes. We don't get that here. I'm lucky if I get 33 megabytes, never mind petabytes, whatever they are, petabits. There's nothing like the smell of hot buttered flaps wafting through the house. You're like, what? Sainsbury's boiling the bag buttered flaps. I've no idea. No idea. I mean, I only assume that is genuine. The Brass Monkeys, He No Evil. No, See No Evil, He No Evil, Speak No Evil. The fourth one, sees no one, hears no one, and speaks to no one, because he's on his mobile phone. Genius. We can't download the Argos catalogue in an hour. That is true. Due to the rising costs of medical tests, all you can do is pee under a tree and wait a bit. If ants gather, you've got diabetes. If the grass dries up, you've got high salts. If it smells like the barbecue, you've got high cholesterol. If you forget to pull up your pants, you've got Alzheimer's. Problem solved. Go and pee next to a tree. Who needs doctors, eh? Question. Hey, does it hurt to get a tattoo? The reply, depends on the area. The response from the original person, I'm from Oklahoma. I don't think they meant like that. Science says people who snooze every single alarm in the morning are smarter than everyone else. I snooze multiple times. I have it on a 5-minute snooze and it goes off at 8 o'clock and I will snooze it 4 or 5 times and get up between 20 past 8 and half past 8. But the weird thing is, I can go back to sleep and carry on my dream, even though I've woke up and snoozed my alarm. And then I wake up, snooze it again, roll over, go back to sleep, carry on my dream. It's weird, I know. But for some people, hitting that precious button is a godsend every morning, right before you realise that you're going to have to hear your alarm sound 2 or 3 times more. But you may have a little bit more going on for yourself than just getting extra sleep. If you press that snooze button, you might be smarter than everyone else. I mean, I don't get this. Apparently, being able to listen to your body's request for more sleep and throw off the mantle of strictly enforced schedules that other people put onto you might just mean that you're actually more intuitive and by that end more creative, says a study. No, I think you're just lazy. You don't want to get out of bed. That's probably what it is. Trump talks the migrant invasion right in front of Starmer. Europe is a very different place than it was 5 years ago. Yeah. And Keir Starmer is just stood there looking. I mean, look at him. I mean, the guy. I said before the election, you know, we had the lettuce for Liz Truss. All we need to do is get a lettuce and pour water on it, and you've got an instant Keir Starmer in lettuce form. I mean, he's just so fucking annoying. There's nothing about him that is redeeming whatsoever. Anyway, when Ronald Reagan was shot in 1981, hospital staff cut away his clothing, finding a laminated card inside his suit pocket. They discarded it into his shoe on the floor, where it was left unattended. That card was the list of the nuclear launch codes. He had the nuclear launch codes on a piece of card in his... I mean, how close were we to nuclear war in 1981? I mean, people moan about it now, but my God. I left school in 81, and it was terrifying times. We'd say to our mates, you know, see you on Monday, assuming we don't get nuked. That's how bad it was. these are the best TV shows in history, apparently. Number 1 is Parasite. Number 2, Mulholland Drive. Number 3, There Will Be Blood. Number 4, In the Mood for Love. Number 5, Moonlight. I think that was Bruce Willis, wasn't it? Number 6, No Country for Old Men. Oh, it maybe not. Maybe it's no, it is. Yeah, or Entertainment. And then you've got number 11, Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm like, that wasn't a good film or whatever. Oh, it's films. Yeah, sorry. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Brokeback Mountain, number 17. I'm like, what? No, there's much better films than that. You keep going down, go down. Wall-E at 34. American Sniper at 38. Most of these I've never seen. Almost Famous. I mean, at best, I've seen that. It was just average. Number 47. The Favourite, number 52. Borat, number 3. Inception, number 53. Sorry, Inception, 55. Just keep going down to films I've actually seen. Oppenheimer is 65. Not seen it though. Right, I'm still waiting for one I've seen. Everything Everywhere All at Once is 77. Arachnophobia. Oh no, Anchorman. I'm going to say Arachnophobia. I've seen that, but that's not there. Gladiator is number 92. I've seen that. Minority Report is 94. I've seen that. So out of all them, out of 100 of them, I've seen about 6. I don't watch films, just in case you didn't realise. Yeah, we're all scared of nukes back in the 70s. I think people are a bit more sensible now, i.e. world leaders and what they were back then. Next time a stranger talks to me while I'm alone, I will just look at him shocked and whisper, "You can see me." That would freak anyone out, wouldn't it? Interesting graphs, just shows you. I mean, it's not in the best of taste, but just shows you how you can manipulate statistics. Titanic annual deaths, 1912. Poof, off the ceiling. Poof, ridiculous, obviously. 2023. I mean, it's not in the best possible taste, but it is. It just kind of shows you how you can manipulate things, doesn't it? Meanwhile, English lesson. Tsunami, T is silent. Honest, H is silent. Psychology, P is silent. Knife, K is silent. Wife, husband is silent. Class dismissed. Made me smile. Ugh. A modern cruise ship compared to the Titanic. Sorry. It's over 100 years. Come on, we can do Titanic jokes now. One of my favourite bands of the 80s, 90s was the Pet Shop Boys. They brought out a movie called It Can't Happen Here, which it couldn't happen here, it shouldn't happen here, can't happen here. Anyway, it's absolutely completely bonkers. Or shite and stuff. Completely off its head. But there's a still from it. Me when the bus is delayed for hours. Well, about 5 minutes. And yep, that's exactly what we look like. It's like, God's sake. It's ridiculous, isn't it? As I looked at my naked body in the mirror, I thought to myself, I'm going to get thrown out of IKEA in a minute. Bum 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 bum. I'm going on a cruise. Oh, get you, Little Miss Moneybags. Boy 2 bites cobra to death after the reptile lunged at him. The reptile. Govinda Kumar 2 battled with a snake that lunged at him after he threw a brick at the serpent while playing outside his home in India. he said, bit it and killed it. Don't mess with a 2-year-old. Jesus. In 2027, we've got to get there first, haven't we? Donkeys could trigger killer animal diseases by feasting on rubbish from bins. Green Party chiefs even fear outbreaks of foot and mouth and African swine fever unless New Forest District Council's wheelie bin rollout is halted because donkeys have been breaking into the bins. I mean, have the Green Party got nothing else to worry about? No, I've got something to worry about. William Shatner is doing an ABBA by planning to live forever as a hologram. Star Trek veteran William Shatner is planning to live on after death as a 3D digital hologram of himself so future generations can benefit from his wisdom. Donkeys are beautiful animals. Yeah, especially when they laugh. Makes me laugh when they laugh. Ozzy Osbourne. Over 50,000 have now backed the plan to name the airport after Ozzy Osbourne. I think it's just an obvious thing to do, isn't it? Tommy Robinson boards flight out of the country after assault probe at a station. Now, Tommy Robinson is the extreme far-right bloke who's been imprisoned for a few months. Opinions differ on whether he deserved to be imprisoned or not. I don't think he did necessarily, although I don't agree with what he says, but I think we're allowed to have an opinion and allowed to state things. Anyway, he was released, and then there's a video of him with blood on his face and a bloke panned out next to him, and then he kind of legs it, and then he's gone out of the country. Now, he was already booked on the flight, and that's where he was heading when the assault took place. But apparently there's a full video where you see he's the one being assaulted, and he punches a guy as defence. So again, news being distorted to fit the narrative of this government. Tommy Robinson said he came at me as he's seen standing over unconscious man. Footage shared online appears to show Tommy Robinson remonstrate with a bystander that a man lying on the floor came at him as Good Samaritans call for help. Yeah, I mean, are you allowed not to defend yourself anymore? I don't know. Brits could be forced to vote with fines for those who don't cast a ballot. Lord Fox said the prospect of a £20 fine would act as encouragement for people to take part in the democratic process, with evidence suggesting it works in other countries. No, in other countries you've probably got a decent choice of people to vote for. The reason why he got in last time was because, well, he was the worst of a bad lot. Whether you agree with his views or not, I just don't like it. I'm not saying I like the guy. All I'm saying is, you know, he stands up for what he believes in, and people shouldn't be persecuted for it. But yeah, absolute nonsense from Keir Starmer. I mean, this is, you know, we are rapidly turning into a police state. Trump sends migrants on one-way Jet2 holiday to deportation in White House video. If you've not seen this yet, it's hilarious. Donald Trump's administration shared a controversial video in which people were being shown chained up and placed on flights on the upbeat background audio of the Jet2 advert. Darling, hold my hand. What was it? Yeah, and it's all the migrants being sent back. Genius and sick. Good idea, but there must be an option on the ballot for none of the above. Yeah, and it's, I mean, again, in order to know that you voted, they're going to know who you voted for. It's all control. Everything's control. Anyway, this is the thing that made me laugh by far the most this week. And bit of background. Charles Leclerc is a Formula 1 driver for Ferrari. Ferrari are not having a great season this year, but he does do a bit for charity and other stuff. But this is a meme, but it is hilarious. Formula 1 driver Charles Leclerc visits the orphanage. It's heartbreaking to look into those sad, hopeless eyes, said one of the kids. That made me laugh a lot. It is true. VBRL. Whenever you go into a voting station, you take your little card with you. You give them the card, and they get the book. They've got the book with all the lists of all the people to make sure you're not, someone who shouldn't be voting. You've got your card, you've got your ID, whatever. And they look on it and they say, oh yeah, your address, that's your name, that's you, yep, that's fine. They then get given a ballot paper, which on the back of it has got a number, and that number is written in the book next to your name. Have you never noticed that? I've noticed that from day one. They know exactly who you voted for. Here's another interesting fact. I stood as an independent councillor at the 3 previous elections in Wigan against Labour. I come second every time, behind Labour, beating the Lib Dems and the Tories, which is great. Seriously, has no one ever noticed that? There's a number on the back of the slip and they write it down next to your name in the book. Please tell me someone else has noticed that. They know exactly who you're voting for. Anyway, going back to this. There's a woman who I know, and she has a camera. She lives in a cul-de-sac. It's a bit more than cul-de-sac, but it's a cul-de-sac. And the Labour guy, who's the councillor, comes around with the leaflets. Now I drop off leaflets in every single letterbox in my ward. I've got through some of the region of 20,000, no, maybe not 20,000. Yeah, actually, it's certainly more than 15,000 over 3 years, posting them in the letterbox. Every single letterbox that I see gets one, yeah? She's got a camera that points down her drive and it picks up a few of the houses. The Labour councillor only delivered his leaflets to the people that she knew had voted for me and did not deliver it to the people who voted Labour. Now, you tell me how that is, democracy. Mind you, we don't have democracy, do we? We have a pretend democracy. Oh, we had a bit of a skip then. Apologies. Well, how do the party members know who voted for me at the last election to get a leaflet? Because the ballot is meant to be secret, isn't it? Hey, you fold it up, you put it in the box, off you go. All happy, you've done your little bit. No one should know who you voted for. But there you go. And oddly, I never get a leaflet posted through my letterbox for any of the other parties. But that's because my address is on the actual leaflet myself, so that's why. How do you know that those that didn't vote for you didn't get one? Because her camera, and she showed me the video, her camera picks up a number of houses, and she knows everyone. It's a cul-de-sac, she knows everyone. And they talk about who they voted for, and he only went to the ones who voted for me, not anyone else. Nothing is private. Good God. Come on, Dream Frequency. They'll be reading our minds soon. We get them things stuck on our heads, them chips put in by Elon Musk. Oh God. Democracy is a fabrication. Anyway, breaking news, because I'm wittering on too much. London's over 60s free bus and train travel change plan as Department for Transport responds. I don't know what to. Britain's gas imports surge as Miliband abandons the North Sea. I mean, this guy's an absolute moron. As Trump has said, we are sat on huge amounts of oil and gas. Literally, it's there. We need it now, whilst we built the nuclear power stations, in order to fuel us for the future. And he's importing the stuff from foreign countries. I mean, this guy's got no brains. Is this tough US-EU trade deal a triumph for Brexit Britain? Only in leavers must be delusionally fanciful. What? Dark day warning as world's largest ever offshore wind farm to be built off the UK coast. Santander Bank cuts more than 2,000 jobs amid a cost-saving overhaul. Senior Tories pay respect to Norman Tebbit at his funeral, and there's a picture there of him, well, not of him, of the coffin being carried in. It would have been more appropriate if they'd done it on a bike. Starmer accused of another U-turn over migrants housed in RAF base. Oh yes, this is breaking news, isn't it? He said at the election that there were migrants who were at a RAF base, a former RAF base, and he would shut it down. Now it turns out he's going to actually expand it. Yeah. Fresh anti-migrant protest erupts over plan to put asylum seekers in brand new £250,000 flats. It's in London. None of these things are shown on BBC News, including the one in Epping. Ghazian boy, 15, given hero's welcome as he arrives in the UK for urgent medical treatment. 9 out of 10 nurses in England, Wales and Northern Ireland reject pay award. Man arrested after children poisoned at a summer Christian camp, which is all a bit weird. Jeremy Clarkson faces culling his beloved cows after a TB outbreak. We've already done the child cropping. Tony Robinson in Tenerife. Expose Labour's plot to silence migrant hotel critics. Now this is what I was on about. This is the AI that will be searching people's feeds, and if they say anything negative towards the migrant hotels, action will be taken. UK energy bills may increase under new means testing as wealthy asked to pay more. What? I think that's it for the breaking news. Not a lot of breaking news today. Let's have a refresh and see. Pound heads for worst month since 2022 budget crisis. Yeah, our economy is crashing left, right and centre. Who knew? Shops warn of further price rises amid fears of autumn tax raid. Ozzy Osbourne buried in his garden as Sharon joined by mourners including Elton John. Nurses move closer to strike action as record numbers reject pay offer. Bank of England set to split again in face of inflation and job risks. Yeah, it's pretty much the same now, I think. £50 billion pension tax relief could be target for Rachel from Accountants budget cuts. Bitter melon for diabetes? Really? So yeah, there you go then. That is the breaking news from this week. Right, where are we up to? The main reason I question it because I spoke to our local Tory candidate was convinced Labour is the biggest rival. He won the vote by 300 with Reform in second and Labour nowhere. Yeah, things have moved on. Should be bank holidays because there's literally no banks left. I've said that before now. So I watched a Canadian from Kent saying the English are anti-immigrant, even against folks from North America. I think everyone at the moment everyone's on edge about everything. Hi, John at Higginbotham was in Stockport on Tuesday, driving home, got lost. So what happens to that house if Big Sharon passes away? Yeah, that's always a worry when people get buried in the garden. It's yeah, it is a bit of a concern. It's a concern, like, innit? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a concern. All the governments of Prime Minister met US President Donald Trump in Scotland today. This is on the gov.uk website, press release. Prime Minister met US President Donald Trump in Scotland today. The leaders began by discussing the appalling scenes in Gaza and agreed that urgent action was needed to bring an end to the suffering, which has reached new depths. Humanitarian aid has been allowed in at scale and pace. They are committed to work together to bring an end to the misery, starvation and continue to press for the immediate release of the remaining hostages who have been held so cruelly for so long. I mean, haven't the Israelis killed probably as many as Hamas have killed of the actual hostages? They reiterated their calls for an immediate ceasefire to pave the way for peace in the region, and Prime Minister welcomed the President's efforts to secure this and shared the plans he is working with other European leaders to bring about lasting peace. Turning to Ukraine, the leaders agreed that they must maintain momentum to bring about the end to the war with Russia, including putting economic pressure on Putin to come to the table without further delay. On the landmark economic prosperity deal, the leaders remarked how beneficial the deal is for working people in the UK and the US and agreed to continue to work together to build further on their close and strong economic relationships. The leaders discussed plans for the President's upcoming state visit in September, which they both look forward to. That ends the press statement. No mention of anyone slagging anyone off. No mention of Sadiq Khan being torn to shreds by Donald Trump. No mention of the migrant crisis. No mention of, yeah, can we trust anyone these days to actually tell us what's actually going on? I mean, I do watch BBC News at 10 and I do watch GB News, and I kind of go like that, somewhere in the middle, because they're both extremes, and some of the stuff GB News comes out with, you're like, for God's sake, shut up. And then a lot of the stuff that BBC come out with, they don't even say anything, which really annoys me. I think it is time to defund the BBC, definitely. If you like the BBC, then you get it a subscription or let them have adverts. But why should we pay for it when they're coming out with so much tripe? Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, you're not paying for this, and I'm coming out with some tripe, so, you know, all that kind of thing. Anyway, it's time to say big shout out to everyone who's joined in the chat. Still not too late. If you want to say hello, you'll get a shout out at the end. So Alan Barton, Craig Meadow, Angela O'Kane, Stato, I didn't see him go, but he's been a bit quiet. DT, welcome, new addition. Dream Frequency, VBRL, T, obviously, Sean J, who always pops in and then pops out again. We're done Stephen O'Neill. If I'm not, Stephen O'Neill. J Morris, 23. There's quite a lot of chat this week, actually, which is good. I like it when there's a lot of chat, a lot of bouncing off each other in a non-worded way. What do you think about the BBC and the weather coming together again? Craig Meadow. What do you think about the BBC and the weather? What, you mean the going back to the main weather rather than using some company no one's ever heard of for the weather? Yeah. 3:31 in the afternoon. It's 23:31 here in good old UK. So, top fans. Number 1, Scottish Girl with 150. Number 2, Danger Mouse with 150. Number 3, Craig with 125. Number 4, Alan Barton with 75. Sean WRL 75. In 5th, 6th is Jay Morris 75. 7th is VBRL. Thought I recognised that many there. 75. 8th is Stephen O'Neill with 75. 9th is Daniel T with 75. And 10th, squeezing in there with 25, is John Higginbotham. So they're the top fans. I have no idea what that means. The Met Office, that's what I was looking for. That was the term I was looking for. Because the Met Office, if you watch GB News, there's a guy who does the weather for the Met Office, and he is creepy as hell. He wears pretty weird clothes, to be fair. I mean, hello. And he looks like a very young Dracula. So anyway, so yeah, there we go then. Where are we up to? How far behind are we? Oh yeah, we're not that far. I'm not that far behind. So I've just scratched my boobies. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining in the chat. Don't forget you listen to this as a podcast. If you listen to it as a podcast, feel free to comment in the comment section or join us when we're live, which is usually 10 past 10, because it's news at 10 past 10 on a Thursday in the UK time. Or if you're in America or Canada, wherever Craig is, that would be 10 past 2 in the afternoon. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will be seeing you. Until next time. Bitey. What? Just said bitey. You're welcome.